Did bro just say Delaware moment?
Delaware
That's so
mode's
funny.
crazy. Oh, Zern's probably Delaware. Alright, the stream is live now. Welcome everyone to Hoenn Khlazic Finals. This is going to be a very interesting set between Zern and Zugu Royale. We're guaranteed to have a repeat champion again in this draft league because Zern won the first season and Zugu's won the last two instances of this in a row. Before we get too far, Gold Mason is joining me today, so feel free to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gold Mason. I'm not really a draft main, but I am a big fan of both of these battlers. I was in the Khlazic as well this season. I did make playoffs, but I actually lost to Zern in, I guess that was quarters? Yeah, quarters, finals. So, dude's really good. His rosters are pretty well built, and
His Oris roster specifically is very good. I like that team. It's got Zard White Crest, the best core
the best
in draft
for
league. But for what we're doing today, so this finals is a best of 3, and so Classic was played over the course of 3 different formats, so 9 weeks, 3 weeks for each format. So we had Oras draft with a little bit of a twist. You'll see one of the Pokemon. I think it was my suggestion that we did this in season 1 or maybe season 2. So there's a few twists to see as we go through. And we have Usum Gen 7 and then ADV Gen 3. So those are the 3 formats. We're starting with Usum. We expect Oras to probably be the second one, and then ADV to end it off if we go the distance today.
Yeah, and I think neither battler really wants to play ADV, so I think we're pretty much guaranteed to see Usum and Oras. Zern has a good matchup, but a terrible team. He's been complaining about it in chat pretty much the whole season. About how he did not like his ADV draft. He's got the Kanto starters, Doug Trio, Metagross, and then Umbreon. Really is all he's got there. But yeah, definitely expect to see Usum and Oras. I don't think either one of them is going to counterpick with ADV if they lose the first game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it already Hizuga already tried to change this to Oras, so I think that kind of gives. And if Zern doesn't like his ADV team, I think that basically confirms the proceedings here. But let's get into the Usa matchup because that's the matchup we expect to see first. Zugu's side has Mega Mawile, Zygarde, Z-Move, Starmie, Z-Move, Jirachi, Roserade, Togekiss, Beware, Smeargle Z-Move. I don't think we're going to be seeing that one, most likely, but crazier things have happened. And then Zern has Landorus T Z-Move, Latios, Scizor, Mega Aerodactyl, Lantern, Roselia Z-Move, Gracelia, and Mimikyu Z-Move. So probably Z-Landorus on that side, though. You know, there's probably room for Mimikyu Z-Move to have some impact in this game, but I don't necessarily see the opportunity for that to come up.
I do think that maybe this might be a Smeargle matchup. There's minus obviously Lumberi and stuff like that. There's a lot of disruption that can go on Zern's team. I don't think Zern particularly wants any of his team to be asleep other than maybe Roselia. I don't know that Roselia is going to come today. Would be the bigger issue, obviously. But I mean, there's definitely a matchup for Smeargle, but probably doesn't get brought. You're probably right there. It would be very interesting to see if it did.
Yeah, it's definitely got applications kind of in those kind of hazard roles, but yeah, this matchup just Zern's team is very much not weak at all to hazard setting. Outside of Stealth Rocks, and you're probably going to want to use something like Jirachi for that can actually have more impact broadly throughout the game, especially where Jirachi actually is pretty decently as like a defensive pivot against a lot of Zern's team.
Absolutely. I do think Starmie is going to be really important here, so it's going to be interesting to see how Zugu leverages Starmie. It has a pretty decent matchup into pretty much the whole team. Lantern is going to be the check a lot, but
Yeah, what'll
You
be
probably
interesting
can.
here is if this is the Z move user, do you use your Z move to break through Cresselia or the Lantern? Because Cresselia could also, as just like a generally bulky spit F check, be used for both Starmie and stuff like Roserade here. Now Roserade obviously has more utility to beat through the Cresselia, but that'll be an interesting thing where we go with the Z move there, because you don't really have a great Z move to hit both the Lantern and the Cresselia in this matchup.
And I don't think we're gonna see a Z move Zygarde.
No, Z move
I
Zygarde. The dragon is, Z dragon is kind of nice here, but doesn't really. The only thing it seems to really be relevant for is the Landorus. But you have so much that's good against Landorus in this matchup, mainly the Starmie. That's good against Landorus. So I actually don't think we're gonna see. Yeah, I agree. I don't think we'll see the Landorus Z move here, or Zygarde Z move here.
Yeah. Mega Mawile is also very interesting. There's a lot of sets you can run into this team. Um, I wonder. I need to check the document, but I wonder if these guys played this matchup already during this
Oh,
season.
that's a good question. I actually, if I was more prepared, I would have looked at that.
Because like
I feel like they did play, but I don't know if I feel like it was maybe ADV. I open up the doc here.
definitely played during the regular season. Good. Oh, Zern did not play Zugu at all this season. Okay.
Interesting. I could have swore they had played earlier in the season. Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
play.
I was certain too.
Yeah, no, looking at it, yep, they didn't play. Interesting.
I guess they were in different
Just-
conferences or whatever.
Yeah, just didn't have an opportunity to play, which happens. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah. So Zern was in the conference on the left side with me and Jabba and Fish, and then Zugu was on the right side. And Zugu went 6-3 during the regular season, so he topped his side of the bracket or his group, which is why he I think his first game in playoffs was last week, because he got a bye for 2 weeks from. Oh, it wasn't even quarterfinals. It's whatever before quarterfinals is.
Oh, it looks
Is when
Kaz had a
playoffs
playing
starts.
game for this basically.
Yeah. So yeah, Zugu got 2 bye weeks.
And then he got a
played
third one playing
Kaz
against
and-
Kaz.
Starting
Yeah,
early. I
you gotta
see.
start needling him while we can. Get him in before the games actually start, and we have to focus on them actually playing.
Fantastic. Well, I wonder if Zern's gonna show up on time.
That's
Because
that's
he's
that's
still-
the other question. I assume Zern will be here on time. He didn't. It was funny. He was in the chat that the announcement of the stream was what reminded him he was playing today. So,
oh my god, that's so funny.
That is funny. That is a Zern moment. That is actually crazy. I'm sorry, Kaz. It had to be done. It had to be done. You gotta let him know. But I think, yeah, if we kind of focus back on the matchup, so yeah, I guess I hadn't played, so we don't have really anything to watch and go over from a previous time. I think I might like Zugu's side of the matchup, mainly because I do actually think Starmie is just because of the Starmie. I think Starmie's so good here in this matchup, and you have enough tools to pressure the Lantern over time. Even if you use Roserade or Smeargle or something, get up spikes and T-spikes. I guess T-spikes less likely because of the Roselia, and put a lot of pressure on that it doesn't take psychics after a few hits. Then I think Zugu's path to winning here is a lot clearer than Zern's, which it makes me surprised that he wants to switch off this format. Maybe I'm missing something that Zugu found.
If I know a draft player, it's that he didn't finish his Usum team in time. He finished his other 2 teams, and he was like, "Wait, I gotta build for the one that we're starting with."
All right, so Zern said he could switch, and then Zugu confirmed, or Zern told Zugu that they could switch, And then Zugu decided to stick with Usum. So, I don't know. Maybe early mind games in this set. But at least Zern is here, which means we'll be getting going pretty quickly here.
Absolutely. Do you want to stream the games to me, or just
we can do,
separately?
yeah, I mean, I could stream it, but it's probably better if you just have the battle
The
open.
replay? Yeah.
Or
no
yeah,
worries.
the live battle, because I have it like in a tiny corner of my monitor just to make the stream layout work. All right, it looks like our game is up though. Oh yeah, you can challenge. Oh yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see this matchup. Zugu staying on the Usum is very. I think you're right. It just is a better matchup for Zugu. I think that Zern's going to have to fight really hard for this one. I think Zern is just going to choose Oros next anyways. I think Zugu knows that ADV is not Zern's favorite here. So
Yeah, so I think, we'd have to look. I can open up the Oros matchup. The Oros matchup, yeah, it's hard to say. It does look to be potentially in Zern's favor. I don't really like Zugu Sand matchup, but we'll get into that when the time comes. But we got Usum to contend with first.
absolutely.
And now we're just waiting for the ping.
I forgot I scheduled a tour for right now. Can I go
Nice.
ahead and give the win? My bad. My bad.
Look, I got a draft game scheduled in 2 hours, so let's hope they don't make it. Let's hope this game doesn't go.
Drag it out.
Yeah, let's hope they don't drag this one out forever.
They're both pretty offensive teams, minus the Cresselia. I mean, the Togekiss and the Beware can kind of, but not really. I mean, the Cresselia is really the only huge stall tool. So
Yeah.
I feel like, at least for Usum, this is gonna be.
This will be a quick game. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Oh, here we go.
Oros game might be a little bit longer, and the ADV game is ADV. So.
Yeah, the ADV game we'll see, but our game is up now. So we have on Zern's side the Mimikyu. So we did talk about that potentially being a Z user here. Mega Aerodactyl, Cresselia, Lantern, Lando T, and the Latios, and then Zugu brought the Mega Mawile, Jirachi, Zygarde, Beware, Starmie, and Togekiss. So I think nothing too.
Scizor.
Yeah, no, Scizor is interesting, but I think Scizor is such an exploitable Pokemon with most of what Zugu has brought here. Jirachi, Starmie. I don't think Mawile gets coverage for it, but Togekiss, a lot of the Pokemon on Zugu's team get a lot of good coverage for it. But this is kind of one of the things we need to see from Zern here is kind of good turns and a good lead off the start here. As you can see, this is kind of the idea I was talking about with the Lantern, and if you get a Spike Up, which we also don't see Roserade, interestingly enough. I guess probably fearing the Cresselia, just a bit too much to bring that Pokemon. But this Pokemon can't be a long-term answer even to the Starmie. So this Starmie, it's gonna be gonna have to prioritize getting this chip, but all signs looking decent for Zugu so far.
Big question now is whether that Starmie has Natural Cure or Analytic. I assume it's probably going to end up being Natural Cure. Analytic is an incredibly good ability, but Starmie is faster than most of Zern's roster, and that burn very early is really annoying.
Yeah, he's going to really have to hope he's Natural Cure now, because this is such a big asset to his team, potentially down. I also think the analytic boost on Switch too as well. Not really that valuable in this matchup, because a lot of the Pokemon you're either going to be able to kill to a KO after Stealth Rocks or for pretty much every instance in this game. So not really something I think to prioritize highly using analytics. So the way he's played it, I assume it is natural cure, given that he's been this aggressive. Oh, it's Scarf.
It was Scarf, and wow, Starmie is down.
Losing
this early.
Starmie, yeah, I'm not. That's interesting. I don't know if this sprite just lied down on me, but
No, the Mega Sprites don't have animations.
oh, they don't. Yes, in black and white. I'm used to playing on X and Y, and I haven't gone back to black and white sprites in a while. Yeah, that's interesting. I would have figured that would have been one of his best tools to have access to in this game. And Choice Scarf is interesting. I kind of see the vision for it a little bit. You kind of have a Scarfer to check the Mega Aerodactyl, and then you obviously outpace Latios, and then maybe even Scarf Lando. If that's a threat, Scarf Lando could be interesting here against Jirachi.
I think Zugu might be kicking himself for not bringing Rose Raid, because without Rose Raid, you don't have that nice check to Lantern as well. So leading Starmie, unfortunately, meant that didn't really have a switch in for those Scalds.
Yeah, and you didn't even end up getting that much damage. Well, it looks like you might get a decent amount of damage here. Ice Punch, wow. Even resisted Ice Punch from Mawile does a ton to this. And you might just see Lantern get sacked off here with the Starmie gone. Yeah. Ooh, we just see a Sucker Punch come out. Huge turn there. And so I guess we've treated Lantern and Starmie early off here. So yeah, well, you don't have a Scald switch in. There's not really a good opportunity to get Lantern in and put up much pressure without sacking in this matchup. I guess you could get it on Togekiss depending on the set. But we see a Rock come out here. We're just going to raw Ice Punch. Well, Zugu getting very, very aggressive here on the Stealth Rock turn, which opens up his Zygarde a lot here. This is a massive turning point, I think, for Zugu to make that aggressive play. I'm guessing he's probably EV'd in a way that he can live basically any Earthquake here and just wants to trade this Mega Mawile for damage to open up his Zygarde endgame.
For sure. And when you know the Stealth Rock is coming like that, you absolutely just, want to get as much chip as you can. There's almost no chance that Zern goes for an Earthquake there unless he's something like Ban Landorus, which I think can be exploited a bit easily.
Yeah. So now we get up our own Stealth Rocks. We see Shadow Ball come out, break the Cassie Berry, do no damage, but we get a Spit Off drop, which will at least make this Jirachi think twice about staying in, as he does just go back into Mawile here on the Shadow Ball. Another Spit Off drop. Okay, well.
Oh no.
These are looking tough, but we get a Reflect Up here, and there is Safety Goggles.
Safety Goggles knocked off, yeah.
Safety Goggles.
The Stealth Rock will kill Landorus on entry, so without a Defog or a Rapid Spin of some sort.
Yeah, and we see
no Rapid Spinner on the team.
So Lando preserved then probably just an Intim sack against Zygarde in the end game to get in Latios. It looks like we're going to Intim sack here against... I guess it doesn't Intim. It won't Intim.
Yeah, it won't Intim if it dies on rocks. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, 100%. But we do get the sack here into our Latios, which opens up an opportunity for Earthquake Latios to kill the Mega Mawile. So good kind of maneuvering by Zern there to kind of play around that and get an answer to that Pokemon. We've taken a lot of HP here, and I'm starting to wonder what is our Zygarde counterplay. Probably the Disguise on Mimikyu, I would guess, and maybe we have a Z-move here to guarantee a kill against a much more bulky Zygarde set. Unless...
That sounds very accurate to me.
Yeah, because we've kind of used up a lot of our moves here on Cresselia already. We probably have Moonlight as our fourth, or yeah, I think Moonlight, yeah, as our fourth move here. And so we see Zygarde come in here. Interesting here, probably just extreme speeding here. I don't think there's a reason to get aggressive. He has shown to be physical. I don't know if there's a calc that tells you what set it is that you can set up in this spot. But likely you just want to extreme speed here to guarantee the KO. Because even if you Dragon Dance, I don't think you're actually gaining anything with the Mimikyu in the back. I guess an aggressive play here could be to really, Dragon Dance is interesting, especially with the Mimikyu in the back. I feel like you're not going to be able to... I feel like he's now just going to be able to bring his Mimikyu in after he used the disguise and now kill this. And unless you have another win condition in the back, then you're kind of in a little bit of trouble here for Zugu. I guess he has... His Aerodactyl is still up. Beware might be nice against Cresselia. I guess Cresselia is kind of chipped. Jirachi, we've only seen rocks, so that was kind of the rock set we were expecting early on. Well, I guess we haven't seen anything from this Togekiss. But we need to get rid of this Mega Arrow before Togekiss can really have a massive impact in the end game.
It's possible that it's like a, you know, a Tailwind Thunderwave. I think Togekiss gets Thunderwave.
Yes, it
something
does.
like that kind of set. I don't love sacking all the Zygarde health, but if the Rachi has like a wish set or a healing wish, especially,
yeah, healing
the
wish
Zygarde
actually,
would
healing
back.
wish would actually be very good in this spot.
And yeah, the Beware kind of checks Mega Arrow, and Mega Arrow can only come in technically 3 times. The Psyshock barely did not do enough damage to take Arrow to exactly 50, where it would die to 2 entries from Stealth Rock.
And then comes the Aerodactyl here, which should live...
Interesting.
I assume lives E-Speed if you're bringing it in here.
Is it faster? I guess it has to be because there had to be bulk to take the Ice Beam. So, that makes sense. Yeah, Extreme Speed from a max attack Zygarde does 22.5 to 26.5 to a no bulk Mega Arrow. So
Okay, so you're perfect. You're golden in this spot then. To live any hit. And so you probably can just go for, yeah, I guess you just have Ice Fang and go for it here. So now we'll see. So we didn't even have to use the Mimikyu in that spot, which is also very, very good. So because we still have that disguise for whatever secondary win condition is in the back here for Zugu. Which at this point probably is Togekiss, I would guess.
I'm a little surprised that Beware wasn't brought in. I'm assuming that it kind of tanks the Arrow stuff like a champ. Yeah, Ice Fang would have done close to nothing. Maybe worried about like I don't know, a flying move or something like that. But even then, I mean, Beware kind of tanks that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. We're at least going to be able to live this and get an Iron Head off. And now we're down. And now we see Mimikyu come out here. And I wonder, this Mimikyu probably just... Shadow Seek does not kill. That is massive. That's Zern with the comma. That is that is tough right there. That is a huge turning point in this game.
Very tough.
Because now you lose your disguise, and now it's kind of got to be up to... yeah. Should have calc. Yeah, poor Zern. Should have actually calc. And now this looks like Cresselia is going to have to really... is going to really have to ball out this game if Zern has a chance. Zern putting Mobile Gamer in the chat. We've always got an excuse. I appreciate that. always got a response. He's always got a response.
That's crazy. Called out Zern.
Oh, Zern knows it. I mean, Play Rough here is going to do a good amount of damage at the very least. I mean, certainly not enough to...
You probably got Iron Head or some shit. I'm thinking the same, Zern.
You're about to get Iron Head.
Shadow Claw? You're coming to Brazil, brother.
Yeah, Mimikyu. This is your last day on Earth, I'm sorry to say. You know what? Zern does have the Zard Y Crest in the back, though.
Yeah,
Oras.
I definitely.
So he does have
I
that going
definitely
for him.
think, barring some incredible RNG or something like that. Oh, yep, there's Ironhead.
And it is faster, so that is good game. Cresselia is gonna have to really ball out here.
No flinches, bulk out everything.
Wait, is this just Choice Scarf Beware? That's funny. If this is Choice Scarf Beware, to outspeed it probably has to be, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks to be. All right, we do confirm last move Moonlight. So realistically, Jirachi cannot come back in. Cresselia still has a chance here. Something like a Nasty Plot, Togekiss, I think would have to be your way to get through this, because you're not dealing enough damage regardless. Yeah, you're doing.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I guess the Roost will stall out whatever embarrassing amount of damage. All right, we get a crit. Oh, and we have okay. Well, that surely will do it.
That is that.
That will that is easy enough. That will confirm that game. Toxic Roost will answer Cresselia. Excuse me, in the requisite amount of turns, and that is Usum 1 to the good for Zugu. So he's now 1 away from winning Hoenn Khlazic 3 times in a row, which is insane.
Yeah, 1 win away. Zern's going to be able to counterpick it. Maybe. I'm thinking maybe he will go. No, he has to go Oros. He's just going to go Oros. There's no even debating it.
It surely has to be the Oros here, unless for some reason something crazy happens. But getting into Oros, this is what I was alluding to earlier. We have Greninja XY, which is super fire. One of the great reasons to play Khlazic is running X and Y Greninja. Jirachi, Mega Man Electric, Talonflame, Empo, Shaman, Espeon, Gastrodon versus a very, very standard Sand team. This is probably about as standard as Sand teams come in Oras. Latios, Excadrill, T-Tar, Charizard Y, Gramble, Amoonguss, Alamomola, and Cresselia. So Zard Y Crest, you get a little bit of that plus 75% in the Moonlight, which is very useful.
Sand and Sun. Very interesting.
Yeah, this is one of those standard cores in Oras. Not as common anymore. You don't see this anymore. This was kind of a Tor archetype that you saw a lot 2-3 years ago. A lot of people are kind of not using this anymore.
Oh, we're in Gen 3.
Oh, we're going ADV. Ah, there we go.
They went ADV.
All right, Zard Y Crest. We'll have to we'll wait to see another day, unfortunately. But ADV is interesting. Let's go. I'm hyped. I'm glad I hope we get to see all the games. But this is a Khlazic Zugu ADV team. We see Skarm Bliss, Blastoise, Sceptile, Ampharos, Arcanine, and Nidoqueen, Ghastly versus the Metagross, Charizard, Blastoise, Venu, Dougie, Umbreon, Gramble, Marshtomp on the other side. We've got a few turns that have gone by quick. I'm going to go back to the first turn because we had the Blastoise leads.
Double Blastoise leads.
Blastoise lead. We see HP Electric probably to cover the Skarmory as well from Blastoise on. Or no, this is on Zugu's side. Probably. I don't know. Yeah, maybe HP Electric. And then we get a powerful Sleep Powder here off on the Blissey, but we'll natural hear that one away pretty easily as we get a Leech Seed here off onto Skarmory. We do get to sleep the Skarmory, which is very nice though. That's going to be huge. Getting more chip on that as much as possible is going to be nice. As Zern just gets a spam Leech Seed here in this game. We see Sub Arcanine. I don't know how far behind I am. Okay, now we're back. So we see Sub Arcanine. Start putting some flamethrowers up, but we get our baton pass into the Blastoise. And we see HP probably... Electric? Yeah, probably Electric.
Or
there.
Blastoise and Charizard.
Yeah, that seems like probably the most likely. And now we're... Man, this for an ADV game, this is pretty quick. And wow, crucial turn there for Zugu. Getting the T-Wave onto the Metagross. Aggressively switching in. And now Metagross gets parried here. And you're not even able to take advantage of this sleep turn here from Skarmory. You get another one at least with the Thunder Punch. would have been at about 20% here. You would have had a chance to Oko or to kill after that. But the Zugu Khlazic, we see Thief. The last time I played against Zugu in ADV draft, I had a team kind of similar to Zugu's, and he brought Thief on all of his mons and stole all of my leftovers. So certainly
notably
a strat he loves to use.
Notably, the Skarmory stole the Charizard's charcoal.
Yeah, that's going to be big. There's probably some very key calcs in this matchup. Probably on something like the Sceptile. Maybe not the Sceptile, the Skarmory, and maybe even the Blissey. You know, for us, there's a lot of places where that charcoal could have been useful.
It's more important that the Skarmory didn't get leftovers, because now the Skarmory is not going to be able to bulk out that, you know, click protect or whatever. Unless the Blissey has a wish, then Skarmory's just going to slowly get whittled down here for sure.
Yeah, and with the wish passing here, oh damn, that is a massive crit there. That is potentially a game-changing crit. You are going to be able to live this and get a huge surf off though, and put it to 90, put it basically dead. So very crazy couple of turns.
That was a gamer stay right
there. Yeah, that's for mobile without the calcs, that's a crazy that was a crazy way to stay in there. And now you're going to get a wish up here, or you're going to BP right back into the Charizard. This is a big turn here. You're going to get a lot of damage off on something. Even the Blissey. It's going to take... Yeah, Earthquake's an interesting mid-ground there. Would have loved to have seen Focus Punch on that specific turn, as a Focus Punch lover myself. But alas, I think that
is the saddest synchronize I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, but we do get a really good wish turn here. Now, looking at... We do have to like play around the Drill Peck and can't go hard into it, but we get in our Blastoise back up to full. Not to full, up to 64. And now we can start doing things. Sad Seismic Toss, but we've kind of traded a lot of HP on our Umbreon here to get our Blastoise back to full, back to full health. Which probably a decent trade given the fact that, Arcanine is so prevalent here. We see a big Meteor Mash. That's in range of another one. So we'll see what Zugu wants to do here. Yeah, as Zugu just tries to set up the spikes, so probably just going into Blastoise to get a free Rapid Spin here. To prevent that, maybe could have killed, but that would have given another really good turn for the Arcanine to go for an HP Electric, just to put this thing down to even lower range, if that's what you're going for, or maybe even a free Sceptile turn.
Zern is actually an incredibly good spot, I think. Blastoise getting back up to health is really nice. I don't know about trading health there against Blissey, but eventually the Umbreon probably will be able to get some health back up here, and when it does, it's going to be incredibly hard for Zugu to break, at least with the Mons revealed.
Absolutely, and this is an interesting turn. You're probably living this HP Electric, given information we've previously seen. As we see Zern try to surf, hoping to bait Zugu into going for that roll. Elects not to, and now we're kind of in the same pattern where we're trying to get aggressive with our Metagross here. And now this is finally the turn. I guess we still have Blastoise in the back, which still has a lot of HP as well on Zugu's side. Ooh, Substitute is big here. Man. Ooh, that's a big crit too, to break the Substitute. Might have broken it anyway, but definitely just to confirm it.
Zern is absolutely being pretty heads up here. Ice Beam's not even going to do enough. No freeze or anything. So Venusaur is going to be able to bulk out this Blastoise.
And we get a good Sleep Powder on the Skarm. So that Skarm still in a bad spot, but we get a big turn here into our Sceptile. And let's see what type of Sceptile we're going to run here. And we see the final reveal Pokemon, which is Nidoqueen. Maybe try. I'm not sure what you're trying to catch there with the Sceptile, but you get Nidoqueen in. Ooh, the Slow Taunt is unfortunate. Very, very fast on our Venusaur here. Comparable speed tiers, but naturally Nidoqueen will be slower, so maybe some just no speed investment there. But
that was a really good turn for Zern.
Getting this in for free.
Blissey.
Huge. That's just free HP here. You're going to be able to get this Wish up, and now it doesn't look like there's a Seismic Toss here. Yep, the Thunderbolt, no crit. You do get Parrot, that's fine, but now you're back up to 62%, and you can use this basically for the rest of the game. And now Zern, I think, is eventually just, his inevitability is just going to start coming into play here, where he's kind of gotten through that sequence where both Umbreon and Blastoise were at pretty nerve-wracking HP stats. And now you're at a position where your Blastoise is at good health. You're going to get even more here to contend with that Arcanine. And now we just
is a huge threat to Zern's team still. But that last Pokemon from Zern is almost certainly a Dugtrio. At some point, a Pokemon will probably go down to, Blissey, and Dugtrio will come into revenge. I don't think that that is going to be able to last for long. The second the Blissey goes down, I think that the rest of this match is going to be pretty decided. That's
Agreed.
the only thing that Zern is struggling to break through right now.
Yeah, and looking at the set, we do have to still be mindful. I assume.
Oh man, double para. Umbreon's gonna go down. Actually, that's pretty huge. Unless the Dugtrio comes in here to kill Arcanine.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a spot to pick for Dugtrio for sure, and that's a good one to pick. One thing I was saying earlier to be mindful of is especially where is trapping Blissey could be problematic with counter depending on the set that you have. But he's probably got some preparation to prevent that. But this does give a free turn for the Sceptile now. Sceptile did come in on Venusaur earlier in the game, which makes me feel like it has a game plan for that, or he expects Venusaur to not have anything to hit it with. That's a good game plan for it. That's a lot of damage right there, and you gotta hope you've got Sludge Bomb or some sort of coverage to hit that with. And that's going to be Hidden Power Ice maybe, just to keep everything on the special side of things. And you at least get a Leech Seed here, which, as long as you don't get frozen, you're able to just kind of get that health back up. Massive amount of HP here on this Blissey.
Yeah, 25% from a Leech Seed.
And then the Giga Drain putting you back up to 80% here. So enough HP to contend, especially after this Leech Seed. You're going to be able to get out of range of this Earthquake again. So we're still trading a lot of HP on this Venusaur, and it's probably a roll, this Giga Drain, that I would guess likely not in favor of Zern, given what we've seen earlier.
Probably not. I think that the Sceptile's HP is probably fire for the Venusaur and the Metagross, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
So Charizard probably walls, as does Venusaur. Well, not quite wall, but Venusaur definitely forces Sceptile out. Sceptile looks like the best win condition left for Zugu. Skarmory is asleep and at 0 turns, so Skarmory's pretty much gone. We're not gonna see spikes, I don't think, this game, especially with Blastoise still relatively healthy to be able to spin them off immediately. And Zugu trading down Blastoise basically is going to be really tough. Blastoise is no longer needed, thanks to Arcanine being gone. So,
and we are going to be able to
again the Skarmory being so low.
And we are going to be able to trade Blastoises here, because I imagine you're going to just trap this with the Dugtrio, get this out of the way. And that's one more Pokemon that you've dealt with. Now, this once again, the problem with Dugtrio here is you get free Sceptile turns. And we see a big Swords Dance. This could get problematic quick. We know it's not like...
Does it have...
does this get... This gets some sort of...
Does it get Rock Slide or Rock Tomb? Or...
No, it's just going to HP Ice. Weird.
Oh, wow. It's gone.
Well, there goes a big threat on Zugu's team. And now at this point, surely at this point, you kind of expect the Thunderbolt, but... Yeah, you can just go to Metagross, and now nothing switches into Metagross at this point. The Nidoqueen is so low that you kind of are priced to stand and hope you hacks, and there goes half of Blissey's HP. Instead, and now you get the boost, so even that is not realistic. You're gonna get to Alright, you get a chance to wake up with this. I don't think you're going to be able to do much. But a Meteor Mash is going to come out there and give you a chance to crit this with a Nidoqueen. Salic Bear is interesting. If you do actually just go into Charizard.
Oh.
Well, we do sack this off, which is fine. I assume Venusaur, yeah, should be able to take any hit here from this Nidoqueen, given what we've seen earlier in the game. But, I mean, if you crit, this Zugu can crit to win this game at this point, given what we've seen left. But I think we should be fine here to see Zern close this one out. Of course, Zern could still get very unlucky. Dugtrio's
crit actually probably closes it out here.
Yeah, the question here, so Dugtrio probably doesn't outspeed here.
If it's Salic Berry Nidoqueen, it's
definitely got the
max.
speed. Yeah, it's definitely got the speed to cover the Dugtrio, and you're probably killing that Metagross. And even if you somehow aren't, you know, there's still the parrot chance. So like the percentages are super in your favor if you get this crit. But
the real question is whether or not Zern is.
Oh, we're going for the Rock Slide flinch. All right, okay. Well, we're at the same spot where we have the Rock Slide flinch. I guess that's our game plan here. And it looks like that's not the case. Now, it's not to say Blissey can't find a way through here, but I think it's unlikely that Blissey can really do anything. It's got to get a lot of fortunate turns here. I think that ice
Blissey now gets slept, or just swapped to Metagross, but with Leech Seed and not being able to switch, it's not getting through Metagross.
No. And Zugu forfeits, and we move on to Oras. The big Oras for Game 3, where we get to see Charizard Y, Cresselia team. And this is a really interesting matchup here. I really like the Sand matchup into Zugu's team. I think Sand has a really, really good matchup. I think Excadrill has a great matchup here once you get the Sand up. There's obviously a Shaman, but you have Charizard Y. You even have a Latios as a way to pivot through that Pokemon and deal a lot of damage. I think this is a good matchup for Zern here. And I think getting that one is huge there, as I think he has a decent chance to get this one in 3 here.
Absolutely. I definitely think that this one's going to be really hype. I think everybody was looking forward to this match specifically, and for them to set it up so that it goes to Game 3, and this one being Game 3, definitely really exciting.
Absolutely. So
there's definitely a lot of play that Zugu has. I don't know if you explained how the Greninja works.
For those who are watching who don't know how Greninja XY works in this, because this is not something I think anyone outside of Khlazic has ever done. XY Greninja is Greninja from the game Pokemon X and Y. So when we play Oras, we play with the rule set that includes the Pokemon Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, move tutors, and new Megas and abilities and such. That resulted in Greninja being too broken with the Protean ability as it exists in Gen 6, which it changes on every single attack, different to Gen 9. That became too overbearing in Oras, where you got access to Gunk Shot, and I think you got access to Low Kick in that game too, but I can't remember if that was already in X and Y. But Gunk Shot was the main one, so then you could actually just have like Stab, move to break past Fairies, which were actually pretty decent against Greninja. So that led to Greninja and Oras typically being Torrent only. But in this league, we're running XY Greninja, so you can run Protean Greninja, but without access to the move tutors that come in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which will mainly mean Gunk Shot in this matchup, is the most important one. And it looks like our game is...
No Cresselia.
Oh no, Zern. Zern, come on.
That's
I have my Oras tour video going up this week about Charizard Y Crest and Oras. And we don't even get to see it this game. Dude, Zern is a hater.
Zern is a hater.
That's a big, powerful U-turn, though, off on that T-Tar, first off the hop. And we get the rocks up, which is super important because of that Talonflame. in the back is going to really put that Talonflame under a lot of pressure. So a lot of HP to trade there to get those rocks up, but super crucial to get them up.
Absolutely. And I kind of expected this team from Zugu. Shaman kind of thuds into the Charizard and gives Charizard a lot of free turns, while the Espeon doesn't really provide too much value. Obviously, as a bouncer, it does, but really not doing a lot on this team.
Now
he might get just trapped by Charizard, or sorry, by Tyranitar.
And then we see the first instance of Zard-Y coming in. Why Zard-Y is so powerful in this metagame, just dropping basically that Empoleon. And this is where the dual weather aspect of this team, while not as popular as it used to be, comes into great effect. And we see Flame Charge. This is a great Zard-Y set, one of my favorites. Because now you get into a position where you got to hope that you can live this this Brave Bird, and that did 43% to an Alamomola. That might just be Choice Banded if I if I had to guess, the way that you're bringing it in there. We're gonna see what we click here from the Alamomola side knockoff, and we'll probably get to confirm the Choice Band, which was banded, to be expected. But Zard-Y gains so much value there. You've lost the Empo, you've lost the Talonflame. You do have the Manectric still. The Manectric's still good in this matchup, and this is a realistically, I think, a free Volt Switch. I don't know if Zern really needs to go into the Excadrill here to get aggressive when Overheat would be free. And you go for Signal Beam just to cover kind of all of your bases here.
Yeah, covers like Tar, covers Latios.
Yeah, as Latios appears now to be the check here, and now you're... Yeah, with Zugu, you're starting to run out a little bit of tools. You still have Jirachi for this. But at this point, if you're Zugu, with the ability to get Sand back up, and you do have one more chance to get your Zard-Y going, if you're Zern...
Another Earthquake on Latios. Very interesting.
Probably there to catch the Jirachi specifically, I would guess. That would probably be your initial thought as to what the answer is for that Pokemon, as we just get an Ice Beam out. As it looks like Zern is just prioritizing dealing as much damage as possible to get into that situation where Sandrush Excadrill or Zard-Y can pick off 2 or 3 Pokemon. And you see Draco here. That's one less Pokemon that you have to contend with. If you're Zern here, and you're really opening up your Sandrush Excadrill here in this spot, as Sandrush Excadrill really has no counterplay left in this matchup unless you're Shukaberry Jirachi, and I don't think you're killing any Excadrill set. Surely not anyone that's prepared for that type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking great for Zugu. Greninja's going to be able to pressure the Latios here, but might have lost too many tools early on. I don't know that he has a lot of gas left in the tank here. Latios will go down, but I think there's free switches here now.
Yeah, this is probably
to set the
I was gonna say Tyranitar to set the sand. You don't even mind sacking the Tyranitar at this point to get a free turn into your Excadrill. As it looks like you just go Amoonguss instead to switch into the Skull, just being as passive as possible if you're Zern, which is fair. You do have the turns and the resources to do that. And we do see Substitute from Greninja here, which is interesting. Yeah, we still break through Substitute as a normal type, which is good if you're Zugu, but I think at this point you kind of want a Greninja to be able to hopefully be able to deal enough damage to the Charizard that I don't, I guess Manectric's really going to have to ball out the rest of this game. Yeah, if it's going to want to be able to. Yeah, with Excadrill here is just so damaging to any Manectric endgame. I think I don't.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't actually know how we get out of this for Zugu here at this point.
I don't either. Amoonguss can be sacked to again like an Ice Beam or whatever, and just do enough damage to Greninja. If Jirachi tries to come in on these Giga Drains, I don't think that it will be able to do enough damage. So Amoonguss will get a free Spore off, which puts another one of Zugu's Pokemon out of commission. And you can't Zern did really well keeping the Tyranitar alive because now Zugu's stalling out some sand turns, but it's not really going to do enough.
To really no effect, because all you manage to accomplish realistically is lose HP on your Greninja, because this Amoonguss can just switch out or even just die with enough turns left on the clock to get T-Tar back in for free. Now, if you did have a roll here that actually killed Amoonguss, then you get an actual decent turn after the fact. Now, you probably still have to take an extra drill attack, which we'll probably thwart that quickly.
We do know Greninja's item. It is not taking damage from sand, so it is more than likely a safety goggles.
Yep.
So that means that you don't really have any power boost on that Ice Beam. That Ice Beam's not going to really... I mean, even as a Ice type against like a standard Amoonguss, you're not really doing enough yet. And the Giga Drain is keeping the Amoonguss just out of range, really.
Ooh, we see another substitute here.
And possibly now that the Ice Beam will kill. I believe it's a low roll.
Yeah.
Depends really on the Amoonguss's EVs.
Yeah, I think you're kind of, if you're making that play, you're kind of assuming that the Giga Drain here, the roll for Giga Drain is, calced just, enough above the substitute line to actually kill this as a normal type or an ice type in that fact. So I guess you're hoping this kills. That gives another T-Tar turn, which you will be able to kill with a water attack, whether it be Surf, Hydro, or it looks like Scald in this case. But that'll mean Excadrill has 5 turns. And unless you have a lot of protection shenanigans going, and you have some Shuka Berries on that Jirachi, you are in a really bad spot. And I think that kind of has to be the endgame you play for here, is have to have Protect on both Mega Manectric and the Jirachi. Hope to have Shuka Berry on the Jirachi to chip the Excadrill if you can get this Ice Beam roll. Yeah, all of that doesn't matter if you don't get this roll.
And even if you do make it through the Excadrill, there's still a Charizard Y. It'll come in on the Stealth Rock, but if it ever comes in on, for example, Jirachi, and Jirachi doesn't have a way to cripple it, then Flame Charge will make it faster than the Manectric.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, this is very, very tense. I think Zugu is really trying to find his line for his out.
And even it looks like Zugu's even clicked, so Zern is really in the tank on this turn. This is even a big turn for Zern, because maybe he's considering preserving this Pokemon and going, I don't know, where you go to Charizard Y here. Wow.
Interesting. You
do live, but wow, I don't know how I feel about that play.
I think I know what Zern was going for. The Amoonguss will regain a ton of health from Regenerator by switching out there. It puts the sun up. Tyranitar can come put down the sand again, and then you can go straight back to Amoonguss. Zugu needs to click Ice Beam, does not. So the Amoonguss will live the Ice Beam from Greninja, possibly.
Well, you got a little bit of a better roll here, and you do lose it. Okay, so you're kind of banking that this Excadrill can kind of can finish this one off here, which it likely can, but you leave yourself vulnerable to some protects here, and some ways to stall out these turns. You do leave yourself with the T-Tar in the back at decent HP, so if Zugu is forced to overheat this Excadrill, you do have a decent chance to live with your Tyranitar. So I would have maybe liked to have seen the Zard-Y stay, because you can potentially get a good opportunity on Jirachi in the end game, especially when we were considering sacking Amoonguss anyway. It feels like we get into this same sequence. I guess we don't have T-Tar after. I guess it's whether we want T-Tar or Charizard after, which, T-Tar probably makes a little bit more sense given the Manectric that Zugu still has.
Definitely possible here. I think Greninja's going to go down. I just don't know. Maybe Manectric comes in for an Intimidate, but gets dropped by Earthquake. I don't know. It's probably going to come down to the Jirachi item. Also notably, maybe Greninja has like a water shuriken.
I would say
I think
water
that's a
water
move, right?
shuriken actually would be huge in this spot. We don't see a final revealed move. I think Dark Pulse is a possibility. I think we
It's
look
still
at
it's still a physical move in this generation, correct?
no, Dark Pulse is not. No, not in this gen.
No, water shuriken.
Oh,
Sorry.
yes, it is.
So
But Dark Pulse is decent. Is not great in this matchup. You do have for Cresselia, which is nice. So maybe that could be the final move here, instead of Water Shuriken.
might have been Shadow Sneak as well.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow Sneak to revenge kill a Latios.
Yeah.
And possibly a Cresselia.
True. But I do think Dark Pulse probably ends up being the most likely in this spot. So probably no priority. So Zuko's really thinking through this. Maybe I think what he's contending with here is, do you save Greninja here? Do you sack? I guess your sack would have to be the Manectric if you switch here. And you save Greninja to kill the Tyranitar, which means you have to you're essentially playing to the idea that you have Shukaberry here.
There is a line. I guess it's 3 turns. So you let the Greninja go, and then there's 2 turns of sand left. You send in Manectric. You go to Jirachi. It takes another Earthquake. There's 1 turn of sand. Yeah, no. The sand.
Yeah, it looks like we're going for the Manectric line here. You get an Intimidate off, which is also big. That's actually the one thing I think we hadn't considered, or we hadn't really spoken to mostly here, is that Intimidate could actually be massive in this Jirachi endgame. Now, we do have Substitute here.
Substitute.
Oh, that's huge. That's massive.
Oh, no.
So you're actually going to be able to kind of deal with what is a Shukaberry Jirachi. You aren't actually going to kill in the next roll, though, which is actually really huge.
I mean, now it's very simple.
Yeah,
you just go to Tyranitar, set the sand.
Exactly. Yep. And this should definitely be now enough to win this game for Zern. So Zern, unless something crazy happens over the next course of these turns, a crit here that does not matter. The slightest. He is going to pick up
crits.
Yeah, nothing can happen.
Like multiple crits, water shuriken is the only way.
And even then, I don't think that actually does anything. But there we go. Zern has won the Hoenn Khlazic for the second time running, or not the second time running. He won the first one, and now he's won the fourth. So Zugu and Zern now tied 2-2 in championships in Hoenn Khlazic. Which, given how Zern started this, he started this draft league 0-3. And was able to rattle it back and make it to playoffs. Make it to playoffs at 5-3, and then win out to win the finals. So big there for Zern, showing Zardwai Crest why that is the best core in Oras.
Didn't actually bring the crest.
Yeah, unfortunately, Crest is not the best Pokemon into Greninja, unfortunately. But there you go. Congrats to Zern. That was a great set, and that was a great final game.
Really well played. The substitute was so clutch. It didn't even necessarily need to survive the hit, although well, maybe it did. But since we already got the earthquake off on Jirachi. Oh no, because you had to break the shaka. Okay, yeah, no, substitute was just an incredibly clutch bring from Zern to be able to close out that game. Really nice sequencing, and yeah, even with the Zard Y thing, I think that his line did make sense, like you said, to make sure that the Tyranitar was still around.
It looked like he was going to need that second turn. I think the one thing that we just completely forgot about was Intimidate, and how that factors in. So you really needed to have that second go of Sand to guarantee the game, which Zern played to make sure that he had access to, which was huge.
Yeah, really nice stuff. Really well done. Congrats to both. I mean, yeah.
They'll be back in the next one, I'm sure.
I'm certain of it. Yeah.
I'm sure Zugo or Zern will be back. Either one would be difficult to assume one of them wouldn't be here, but
it's hard to run a draft league without Zern and Zugu, I think, these days.
Yeah, without them coming in and winning the league, unfortunately. But there we go. That's the stream. Thank you for joining today. Gold Mason's channel is in the description down below. If you enjoy ADV specific content, I know this is mostly, we mostly do a lot of draft league, but hey, ADV is the best format for a reason. There's a reason that we do Emerald Open every year. That's because that's because everyone loves Gen 3 that plays Gen 3. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for having me on board.
No
it was
problem.
really fun.
It's awesome. This is a great set. This is why the Khlazic is awesome.
And no real hacks in all 3 games, you know?
Yeah,
there was like some paras in the ADV game, but otherwise, like, it's really, really clean.
Yeah, I think there was one. Yeah, there was one crit in the ADV game, but Zern was able to play through it like pretty spectacularly. The HP Electric crit on Blastoise was still able to very well sequence around the turn 21 crit here with the Umbreon. Even at low he had to sack a lot of HP on Umbreon, but was able to get that HP back and then get the Blastoise HP back as well. So yeah, I think pretty low hacks, as you said, which makes it even better. Just 3 awesome games all around.
Absolutely.
But that, as I said, that is the end of this stream and the end of Khlazic for this time around. These type of streams were fun. I might try to do more of them. I don't know when the next Khlazic is going to happen. That's a cast question, not a me question. So he might want to run one soonish. We'll see. But we'll definitely do another final stream of that because these games were great. So thank you everyone who tuned in to this stream. We will see you all next time. Have a good day, everyone.